Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everybody? We meet again, we meet again, we meet again. It's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist, coming to you live. And welcome to Ron's Recap. I'm here today to recap and review the TV show All American on the CW, Season 4, Episode 15, titled C.R.E.A.M. Cream. Cash rules everything around me. Like, oh my god, when I first saw that title, I'm like, this episode gotta be good. Like, come on now. Cash rules everything around me. Like, that's notorious. That's notorious. And then they abbreviated it with a cream. Okay. Let's get into the episode, guys. Let's get into the episode. It was a good episode. Like, one thing I love about this show, if I haven't said this already, like, this show, the way they depict African Americans or people of color in general it's amazing. Like, it's amazing to watch, and it's not like fabricated or all one-sided. And I just love it. I love it. And I hope and believe that that's probably why this show is doing so well, is because one, it's a great story. Two, it actually like depicts Black lives in a great manner. And for that reason, I'm like, I will forever love this show. I'll forever love this show. So, all right, let's get into it, guys. The episode started with the players on the field practicing football, where Spencer finally had another good moment on the field in front of the coach, coincidentally. He's been working hard to impress. He's been working hard to impress that coach, day in and day out, in the gym, off the gym, looking at plays, watching videos, at practices, doing everything he's supposed to be doing at best. And he's finally getting somewhere. So after his glorious moment in front of him, coach told him to meet him in his office after the practice to tell him that he's starting him at gunner. And I have no idea what that position means. I'm not a football fan, but the gunner position, I don't know if that's a college football thing or if that's just a football position in general. But the gunner, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what it means, guys. Don't crucify me. Somebody tell me in the comments, what does the gunner position mean in football? Okay, well, I guess, like, what is the role? But, I was at least thrilled that he started. Of course, he was thrilled that he started. He's been working for this for weeks at this point. So I'm happy that he got to that point. The next scene was of Patience, Layla, and Coop all in the kitchen together, awkwardly, where Layla approached Patience about her album title that she doesn't have an idea about. She's just sitting there on the couch, painting her nails, like, oh, living her best life peacefully in Zen mode, clearly neglecting whatever awkwardness taking place between her and Layla. And thankfully, not much longer, Olivia walked in, breaking the silence to ask if anyone wanted to support her with whatever she had going on. And Patience offered to do it when she had no other time to do anything else. The things that she's supposed to be doing, like coming up with an album title. Leaving more awkwardness between her, her and Layla as Olivia and Coop left. The next scene was of Spencer soaking in a tub of ice water. I've never done that. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would kind of shock your spine a little bit. I get why athletes do it because they're clearly in pain and their bodies are heated and they're sore. So that probably numbs it, maybe, I'm assuming. But maybe I can try it one day. Maybe not. I don't know, depending on the day it is. The idea, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the idea about soaking in like ice cold water with ice cubes and all. Like, I don't know. But he was soaking in this tub of ice, going over plays, and in came the assistant coach, congratulating him on seeing where his head was at, seeing that Spencer is waiting for his moment, and he had been waiting for his moment, and to actually get a position he wants, the coach is proud, But I guess he's still, at that moment, he was still studying for the position that he really, really wanted, even though this was just his foot back in the game. Meanwhile, Jordan and his teammates, zoomed on by happily as one of the members on the team scored an endorsement and was discussing a party being thrown and flying private on the jet to get to it in Vegas. Jordan was all for it. Meanwhile, Spencer heard a bit of the combo and didn't seem so thrilled to hear the news. And at that moment, I'm like, okay, is he jealous? Like, what? I guess maybe he felt like Jordan don't need to be engaging in that. You need to be staying focused. And I don't know. At that moment, I'm like, what is going on? So next up, the next scene was Olivia and Spencer. Spencer ran late, meeting her for lunch on that little lunch date outside on campus. But it was all good, considering that Liv was working on her article pitch in hopes to impress her boss, so that she can actually, be assigned an article next time. And Spencer assured her that greatness is upon her. He assured her that he wants to see her flourish with her journalism. And they both are like in the same situation, honestly. They both are in positions where they're the underdog. They're the underdog and they're the newbies coming in, where they're fresh. They're fresh meat. So they have to prove themselves. They have to prove themselves and not like make any slip ups. So that's an interesting perspective that both of them are on right now. And it's kind of in the same spot with their endeavors. But ultimately, Spencer kind of tarnished the moment just a little bit by bringing up Davita's name. Just a little bit. By bringing up Davita's name in the convo, suggesting that maybe she can use Davita as her approach. And that quickly was declined, and gracefully. Like, no, I already have an approach, and I'm going to be pitching this tomorrow. And at that moment, I'm like, she is so threatened by DeVito. She is so threatened by DeVito when it comes to Spencer, and it doesn't have to be that way. Like, Olivia got to know that she is not always going to be the only woman in Spencer's life, outside of his mom. There's going to be people that he collaborates with, and he's going to have moments with, like, for support and just other people in his corner, other women. Some may have good intentions, some may not. But she can't always just jump to the conclusion and be jealous of somebody that's just ultimately just trying to help Spencer. She can't always do that, considering she have her own situation with journalism. Okay, so next up, Coop going into her now favorite elderly person's room to empty out the trash at her new job or whatever, until she saw a young girl in the room rumbling through her drawer when she had no business in there, to realize that this young girl, Sky, was her granddaughter. And she was about to call security on her, but Coop shortly left after, realizing that, oh, this was her granddaughter. Let me go on about my business. But she left with suspicion. She left with suspicion with one eyebrow up, and yeah. On to Spencer and DeVito. They had a scene where they were walking around campus discussing endorsements, or NIL as they're referring it to, NIL, media, etc. And Spencer, wondering how to score his own, DeVito pretty much told him to be able to score them is by scoring touchdowns and get in the game, sir, and you haven't quite done that yet, so you gotta get him. That's the way they're gonna get him, is getting in the game and doing the damn thing. And so, that's in his head at that moment. Next up, Olivia actually trying her pitch to her boss. And her boss shot it down instantly, unfortunately, due to saying that this story is another one. Like, pretty much it's too common, and it would just be another one in a pile on her desk, leaving Liv in disappointment. Because ultimately, Olivia thought she had it. Her boss assured her that her moment will come in time, though. Her boss assured her that her moment will come in time, and that You know, you will get it. I get that you're aching for your first story, but you will get it. And this just may not be it. So she was disappointed about that. Girl been working hard and trying to make her way in and get in where she fit in. Asher, up next. Asher, making pancakes for him and his girlfriend, Jamie. As she came in, he spoke about getting her to meet his friends finally at the cafe to watch the game, and she agreed. And she took a bite of his salty pancakes. Pancakes are not supposed to be salty, bro. Pancakes are not supposed to be salty, and they looked too white. Like, pancakes are supposed to be brown. They looked too white. Maybe light brown, but not on the verge of like yellow/white. Mm-mm. And she shortly left after that. She shortly left after that to go to work. Okay, next scene. Kind of thick one. Olivia and Spencer discussing her not so successful pitch to her boss, and even though her boss told her to drop her topic, she still persists. She still persists on going with the story. And it's starting to become obvious why. DeVito. She's taking this approach to the topic like to just prove that endorsements or NIL doesn't matter in athletes' lives when they do. The approach she was going to make is like, oh, it only offers a couple of $100. You know, it's not much to an athlete. Like, and ultimately, even if it was just a couple of $100, that could be just a couple of $100 that a college student doesn't have. Coming from somebody that just graduated undergrad in 2020, college students don't always have money because we're spending time and energy into college. So much the fact that you may not have the leisure to work as often or work at all because you're taking so many classes and so much stuff, putting so much energy into school. So even if it's a couple $100, it could have been very much worth it. But, Spencer had to humble her, ultimately. Spencer had to humble her. One, he had to humble her with the fact that she doesn't know financial struggle. She doesn't know that, so you don't know what it's like to not have anything or to not have money. So, yeah. Same point. Again, like, not everybody knows that leisure of having money always because people are broke. Not everybody have money. People have struggles. And that's just what it is. And again, and a single endorsement would give you $1,000, maybe $2,000 a semester. That will help a lot. So again, he needed to humble her, letting her know that would make a difference in somebody's life. And she didn't like that, of course, even though it was true. And eventually she stormed off from Spencer at that point, in her feelings, of course. The next scene was of Coop and Miss Marie. I don't know if it's Mary or Miss Marie. I think it's Miss Marie. But, the scene was of her and Miss Marie. Miss Marie was looking for her emerald earrings or whatever. They were missing from her drawer. And Coop tried to eventually walk her through where she had them last. She tried to walk her through where she had them last. Eventually leading up to her telling her that she saw Sky going through her things, but Miss Marie wasn't quite receptive to that and shooed Coop away. She shooed Coop away like, are you saying my granddaughter's stealing? My favorite granddaughter? Yeah, I don't believe that. You need to leave. And damn, she ain't even consider it. Like, then maybe think about it. So back to Spencer. Spencer was on the field for practice, and Jordan instantly noticed the coach speaking to another football player. The coach and the player then came over to them to ask them about the whereabouts of the QB, the one with the elaborate sponsorships, aka Wade Waters. He was MIA, and even though Jordan knew where he was at, partying, he claimed he didn't, and ultimately being put in this place to play QB, giving Jordan the golden shot, which seemed to really work in his favor as he told Simone all about it over the phone that night. Once the convo ended, Asher walked in the home in their little beach house, which has to be lovely, I know. He walked into home shortly. Then Spencer to and then Spencer walked in afterwards, shortly after, and drilled Jordan hard about covering up for Wade, all due to the promising of their Vegas trip on a private jet. Spencer wasn't having it. Spencer wasn't for it. He's like, bro, that man is a leader. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And you were wrong for covering up for that man. He's wrong for ditching the practice. And he had a point, ultimately. He had a point. And Jordan could deny it. The next scene was Olivia talking to her dad about this NIL sponsorship topic. He told her that he probably would have taken one as well, in spite of the distractions that came with it. It just, gives some students more access to funds in general as a college student. Again, like you said, like even though he feels like it might have been a distraction because people could be taking it as partying or just getting distracted with the events. It provides funds, resources. It puts you amongst other people that could probably very much help you. And again, funds, like he said, if he wanted to take somebody on a date, hell, if he wanted to get some new clothes, get food, he would have been able to do that because he got the funds to do that from an NIL. And I don't know why that was so hard for her to grasp. Again, well, no, I do. Because Davida, she's so threatened by that girl that she was just determined to make a point that her existence and the tip that Davita's coming in on in Spencer's life is wrong and inaccurate and she's not needed. Pipe down, girl. Pipe down, pipe down, pipe down. Pipe down, because Davita only had good intentions. As of right now, she still has good intentions. She seems to be very supportive and only there for Spencer in the utmost uplifting way. And that's just what it is. The next scene was of the football coach having Wade, Jordan, and another player in his office. Coach made it quick as he demoted Wade and replaced Spencer in his position and placing Jordan in Spencer's position due to missing that practice and getting caught on a sponsorship event due to photos surfacing online, more than likely on Instagram. And he lied and told the coach that he was doing schoolwork. He was away doing schoolwork and just got caught all the way. The next moment, Wade stormed out, pissed, and the assistant coach telling Spencer to be ready in that position. Be ready for whatever, because you're about to level up, and he clearly is falling. Next up is Asher. Asher brought Jamie to meet his friends at the cafe finally, and Layla somehow used that moment to get to talking about Patience's album title again. As Patience didn't want to talk about it for the night, next moment was a Billy coming in, making sure the football game is all set to watch. As they're there, he was so excited to see Spencer and Jordan's first televised game. Not only is it on TV, but the TV is working properly, just in Spanish subtitles at first. And the game started, and Spencer immediately did what he was supposed to do. Getting praise from the coach, making Spencer feel on top of the world, finally. Getting praise, getting appreciation from the coach. Meanwhile, Billy is tweaking out watching the game, just like, oh my God, I can't watch this, I can't do it. In addition, Coop is stalking Sky's Instagram page, which I found so weird. She was stalking Sky's Instagram page, looking for clues, and for stealing Marie's earrings. Like, how did you find that girl Instagram page, first of all? Apparently, Sky has some type of hot pictures, as Jamie suggested. Coop takes Sky on a date, considering she's hot. Like, that was funny because Patience was right there, and that instantly caught Patience's attention quickly, as Jamie then caught on and then realized she spoke out of turn. Like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I said too much. Let me back away. Let me back off. So as the football game continued, Spencer missed his chance to grab the ball and potentially score a touchdown, giving the opposite team a lead as they grabbed the ball and ran into their, base, instantly disappointing the coach. Instantly. And even though it's not over, Spencer took it very personal, almost instantly, as Jordan attempted to assure him, dude, it's just one bad play. You got more. But he's like, no, man, everybody knows that I messed it up. Everybody knows I gave him the lead. What if we don't recover from that? And, bruh, chill out, pipe down. Just step your cookies up and come harder the next play. So back to the cafe. Jamie apologized to Coop about speaking out of turn as they were getting drinks. I'm assuming they walked off to get drinks, and she apologized to Coop. And Coop assured her that it's okay because she didn't know about patience. As they got the refreshments for the group, everything was cool. And once they got back to the group, Patience was ready to dip. But not on Layla's watch. She's like, oh, I can take you because we got some things to discuss. She was determined to get something out of Patience, and that blew up quick. As Patience and Layla went to going back and forth, Coop chimed in to defend Patience, and then Asher chimed in to defend Layla. Coop then made it a point to be like, oh, the only reason you defended Layla is because I used to date, when Jamie had no clue of that. She had no clue of that until, at first it was awkward until it all made sense. Jamie was like, okay, I see why, everybody's been acting weird, making a conclusion that they're all in a vortex. And they all thought about like, no, that's not it. And then it all made sense. Like, oh, maybe we are in a vortex. Maybe we are in a vortex and this is why Patience is trying to leave. That was so funny. That was hilarious. So back to the game. Another player on Spencer's team is down and out, injured, and it was not looking too well. So back to the cafe, more arguing, but it eventually died shortly after. And it went back to the game. Spencer got put back in and not only stopped the other team from scoring, he ended up with the ball, redeeming himself from the lead he gave away. That was a huge moment, but due to that injured player, someone still had to replace him. Someone had to replace that injured player. Wade thought it was him as he was gearing up, like, oh, I'm going to stem me in. I got this. And it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was Jordan. The coach picked Jordan over him, and Wade Waters was completely pissed about that. But just gives Jordan his moment to shine and play with Spencer again. So I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. Let's see where it goes. So back to the cafe again. What do you know? Coop is still stalking Sky's Instagram and finally saw what she was looking for. Marie's earrings. Bad timing. As Patience is near. Like, Jamie is near. Like, just a lot. So back to the game. Again, Spencer's assuring Jordan that everything is okay and to get his head in the game. The two work together nicely, like they were in high school again. They worked together nicely as Jordan took a hard hit. Excuse me. As Jordan took a hard hit to throw the ball at Spencer, like a hard hit, like being tackled. He barely got the ball out of his hand without being tackled by like two people, I believe. Spencer caught it and scored another touchdown, ultimately winning the game, causing a major celebration amongst the two of them and the entire team, which was super unbelievable and massive, like super unbelievable and massive. And then the fact that there was results with Wade's position being replaced or somebody put in his position, that doesn't look too good for Wade. So he walked off pissed, of course, and jealous. So the next thing was Miss Marie and Sky together and Scoop intruding to expose Sky, which worked slightly. Yes, Sky took the earrings and she admitted to it, but she only took them to make them into a necklace since Miss Marie says she could no longer fit them anymore. Or she can no longer wear them. And ultimately end up shaming Coop. Coop apologized only for Sky to thank her for caring about her grandmother. Like, you wouldn't even go these lengths if you didn't care about her. And surprisingly, the plot twist, Scott should have went in on her like, you told my business or you accused me, da 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 da. But she was like, no, I appreciate that. And meanwhile, slide in my DMs anytime since you know where to find me. That was so unexpected. So I'm like, wait a minute. Sky, wait a minute. Coop wasn't expecting either, but hey, there you got it. Storyline for you. I can't wait to see where that goes. Patience is not going to like that. But the next scene, Olivia went to the lobby, to the locker room. She made her way from the cafe to the locker room to wait for Spencer. You know, probably to make up and just to talk. I'm assuming until Davida came by, Olivia approached her and apologized. You know, just waiting for Spencer, definitely, I'm assuming. And Davida came by to go to the vending machine. And Olivia approached her and apologized to her, gave her a do-over introduction. Davida did. And started over. Olivia then wanted to like get her take on the NIL, and Davida agreed. Davida gave her an earful, and Spencer came in to see them together, wondering if he should be worried about them. Came in to see Davida and Olivia together, like, wait a minute, should I be worried? Like, come on now, man. She's mad at me for what I said earlier. Like, come on now, man. Come on now. After Davida excused herself, Olivia filled him in on everything. Lovingly, calmly, and apologetically. And ultimately, they made up. Jordan, you know, in the locker room, listening to a cute voicemail message Simone left him, congratulating him on a successful game. Heartfelt. As he was all packed and ready to go for Vegas, he went over to Wade and his crew with his overnight bag and excitement, you know. But Wade shot him down instantly, told him, no, Jordan, you're not going. You're not going to Vegas anymore. With no explanation, leaving Jordan behind and in disbelief. And ultimately, it was just jealousy and bitterness. That's it. That's all. Like, you mad because he got in your position and got shined. And now you want to renege on taking him to Vegas. It wasn't like he ratted you out going to that little party that you went to, missing out on that. That wasn't his fault. You got caught on your own. And I'm like, it'd be mad funny if them tables turn and Wade lost that same endorsement that he's going to Vegas with and that on that private jet, and they came and sought out Jordan. Let him go on that endorsement and they were to come and seek out Jordan just for Wade to sit on the sidelines and watch. That would be a plot twist for your ass. You know. So, back to the beach house. Well, to the beach house. The party at the beach house that was discussed between Davida and Olivia, or that Olivia invited Davida to. Asher wanted to really break things down for Jamie about the relationship with his friends and his ex, which ultimately brought them closer. Jamie was receptive and understood it all. And they all toasted over drinks and welcomed Jamie to the Vortex. The Vortex. That was hilarious. And what do you know? The Vortex just so happened to be the decision of the title of Patience's album. Talk about it. Talk about inspiration. Talk about inspiration. She was like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's call it the Vortex. And that's actually a dope name. I actually see the cover of that, like, being so dope and animated. Like, that is so dope, so dope, so dope. In the midst of that, Spencer saw Jordan sneaking upstairs, like coming in the house, sneaking upstairs to ask about Vegas. Jordan filled him in, and Spencer invited him to join him at the party downstairs. But Jordan was too embarrassed to, considering he was bragging about the Vegas trip. Oh, the Vegas this, Vegas that, and I'm going on a flight. I'm going on a jet. He wasn't for it. So as Jordan was about to stay in his room, Olivia went upstairs to find them together and forced them both downstairs to join the party. Yay, Liv. Get your brother up out of that space. Watch that game. And that was exactly what Jordan needed to be. To see them in action and what they actually did. And he was amongst his loved ones celebrating as they rewatched the football game, which was a good moment. Kudos to that. So, in the midst of that, Olivia had a little side convo with Jordan about Wade. And what inspired her story, like, she got like a light bulb, like, oh, tell Spencer. She was like, you know what, tell Spencer, I'll catch him later or whatever. And she left the party early. Meanwhile, as Spencer was outside taking it all in, probably still wondering how he's going to secure the spot and how he's going to do XYZ, Davida came out there to show him that he is all over SPN, which is great publicity and it looks super promising. And then she shot the idea of them working on branding for him. She's like, dude, this is just the beginning. We got to work on branding for you. We got to work on branding. We have to work on branding. And sure enough, that was what it was. Scene ended there. As the last scene of the episode ended up being Olivia finishing her outline or like little pre-script or whatever for her story. Her boss sees it on her way out late night in the office. And she asked about it, like, what are you working on? And let's just say Olivia definitely found an intriguing approach, as she intended to release the story about Wade being benched after attending an endorsement party. And the boss was like, okay, I told you not to do another NIL story, but she had a face for it, and it was a different approach and a different take to it. And she's like, okay, we're talking. And at that moment, I'm just like, oh, this is definitely going to be one for the books, as I'm sure Wade will probably lose endorsements if that article really blows up. And he will probably come after Jordan and Spencer for this blow up. And it's just like, trouble is bound to happen if that article gets released and that blows up like that. Jordan's already on Wade's bad side. We don't want to keep this going down that. We don't want to keep this going down that road. We don't want to keep this going down that road. Liv, I get it. I'm just trying to protect your brother, but don't do it. Don't do it. Especially if he's already, both of them, him and Jordan, are both fresh meat on that team. Let them be bygones. Let them be. Just let them be. Let them make their way. Don't do it. Even though I get it. Again, she's aching and itching to get this story. And it's a different approach to that NIL endorsement topic, whatever. And it's a dope perspective. And it probably will blow people's socks off. But she's going to jeopardize the relationship between her and her brother. And damn. I hope she don't do it. Like, if she do, I wouldn't be mad. But if she don't, Jordan's going to be mad. And probably Spencer too. And probably her parents as well. Next episode should be interesting. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see where things go. If she's going to really release the article. The preview showed like him bumping into her. Well, Wade bumping into Jordan. And just kind of making Jordan suffer. Hell, like, Jordan did not ask for that position, bro. So why is he just giving Jordan hell? Like, Jordan hasn't done anything to him. Just wanted to play ball. And it went from Spencer having problems with that team and Jordan having no problems. And now Jordan's having problems while Spencer is getting to the point of having no problems with that team. Ooh. Troubling. My head is racing. Like, just thinking about it. But it's good, though. Like, the writers do their damn things with this show. The writers do their damn thing with this show, and I love it, and I'm intrigued, and yeah, I'm tuned in. So that's all I got for you guys this week, guys. Until we meet again next week. Or catch me on the All-American Homecoming review. How about that? Until we meet again, guys. It's your boy Ron, a.k.a. Ron the Artist. If you're watching this with me right now, we are live on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, this has been pre-recorded and taken from Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, comment on the video. Let's talk about the recap review. Let's talk about it. How did I do? What did you think about the episode? Let's talk about it. If you're watching this on Instagram right now, follow me, comment, share, like. Let's talk about the recap review. Again, guys, until we meet again. Peace.